Welcome to the Deep Dive. Our mission today is to cut through the noise, plunge right into your source material, and really get to the heart of a truly bizarre and unsettling mystery.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to take a deep dive into the strange death of Joshua Maddux. He's often called the boy in the chimney. And the sources you've provided, they paint this picture of a case that, well, it just continues to haunt people, doesn't it? Stirs up a lot of debate.
Oh, definitely. It's a case absolutely filled with questions, conflicting evidence, and just a whole series of perplexing details that challenge any kind of easy answer.
Right.
So we'll be looking at what happened, what they found, and importantly, the many reasons why that official explanation, well, it left so many people unconvinced.
Okay.
You should get ready for some aha moments, maybe, because this one is truly fascinating in how baffling it is.
All right, let's get into it. The story starts May 8th, 2008, Woodland Park, Colorado. Joshua Maddux, Josh, he's 18, described as a nature-loving musical kid. He leaves his parents' house for a walk, supposedly a short walk.
And just never returned.
Just vanished.
Yeah. And it's important, I think, to understand a bit about who Josh was. People said he was bright, well-liked, really into music and writing. He was tall, too, 6 feet.
Okay.
His family said he seemed happy, doing okay. But there's context here. 2 years before, his older brother, Zachary, had tragically died by suicide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And his father, Mike Maddux, mentioned that this had, quote, pushed him over the edge. But, despite that trauma, Josh seemed to be finding his way.
Right.
His sister, Kate, she even wondered at first if maybe he just, decided to start a new life somewhere else. Play music, write under a different name, given his interests.
That makes sense initially. So the police back then, they didn't suspect anything criminal.
No reason to.
Yeah.
They listed him as a missing person. Standard procedure, really.
Okay. But then 7 years pass, nothing, until August 2015. And the whole narrative just shifts dramatically.
Completely. And it happens less than a mile from Josh's home.
So close. What happened?
A property developer, Chuck Murphy, he's got this old, unused wood cabin. Been empty for years. He's demolishing it to build new homes.
Right. Standard development.
Exactly. But as his team starts tearing down the chimney, well, that's when they made the discovery.
The horrifying discovery.
Yeah. Crammed inside the actual brickwork, they find a mummified body.
Oh my God.
Dental records later identified it as Josh Maddux.
After 7 years, in a chimney.
And what's immediately striking, beyond just finding him there, is his condition.
How so?
He was found naked, except for a thin thermal shirt. Just the shirt.
Naked. But where were his clothes?
That's the other weird part. They were found inside the cabin, neatly stacked right next to the fireplace.
Neatly stacked, not like scattered.
No, neatly folded or stacked. And the body itself, it was in a fetal position, but with his legs above his head, kind of jammed in there.
Legs above his head. That sounds difficult, almost impossible to get into voluntarily.
Precisely. Imagine the shock for the family. His sister Kate said something like, "The situation doesn't make any sense at all."
I bet.
She said, "We were really expecting him to be anywhere else in the world, and he was actually very close."
Just 2 blocks away, you said?
Yeah, only 2 blocks. And somehow, searches had missed that cabin for 7 whole years.
How does that even happen?
That's one of the many questions. So the Teller County coroner, Al Bourne, he conducted the autopsy.
Okay, what does he find? Cause of death? Any injuries?
Well, that's another layer. He found no signs of trauma, no broken bones, no knife wounds, no bullet marks, nothing like that. And no drugs in his system either. He figured death wasn't instant, ruled out starvation. He speculated it was likely dehydration or hypothermia.
Hypothermia makes sense if he was stuck, only wearing a shirt. What were the temperatures like?
Around the time he disappeared, temperatures dropped into the high 20s Fahrenheit. That's about minus 6.7 Celsius. Definitely cold enough.
Okay. So based on that, the coroner makes a ruling.
Yes. On September 28, 2015, his initial ruling comes out. Accidental death.
Accidental.
His theory was basically that Josh climbed into the chimney himself, maybe seeking shelter, or for some unknown reason, got stuck and died accidentally.
Right. But you mentioned people had doubts immediately.
Oh yeah, big time. That conclusion just didn't sit right with a lot of people, especially the Maddux family, and crucially, the cabin owner, Chuck Murphy.
Why didn't it add up for them? What was the main issue?
Well, one of the biggest things was a piece of the chimney itself, something Chuck Murphy knew about specifically.
What was that?
A thick wire mesh grate, like heavy duty. Murphy said he himself had installed it across the top of the chimney, maybe a row of bricks down.
And why was it there?
Specifically to keep animals out. Raccoons, birds, whatever. So the question becomes, if that sturdy mesh was there, how did Josh get in?
Exactly. That seems like a major obstacle. Did the coroner know about the mesh?
Initially, the coroner thought maybe it had rusted away or something. He even said, nobody saw the metal mesh. We didn't see it in any of our photos. He suggested it might have disappeared over time.
But Murphy disputed that.
He did. Murphy clarified that all the metalwork from the demolition, including that mesh, had been removed and collected for scrap before the body was even found or the coroner was involved. That's why it wasn't in the photos.
Ah, so it was there when Josh would have supposedly entered?
According to Murphy, yes. And this detail, just this one piece of information, it actually forced the coroner to reopen the case.
Wow. How soon after the initial ruling?
Just 3 days later. That mesh grate really threw a wrench in the works.
Okay, so the mesh is a huge problem for the accident theory. But you said there were other perplexing details, too. Inside the cabin?
Yes. Inside, there was a large wooden breakfast bar, like a big, heavy piece of furniture.
Okay.
It had been torn from the wall where it was attached and then dragged across the room to block the fireplace opening.
From the inside?
From the inside, blocking the way out of the fireplace into the cabin.
Wait, so if Josh climbed down the chimney, planning to exit through the fireplace, why would that bar be blocking his path? Who moved it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It makes the whole scenario incredibly complicated. If he went in the chimney, how did he move the bar first? If he was inside the cabin first, why climb up the chimney after blocking the fireplace?
It makes no sense. And then there's the body position again.
Right. Fetal position, legs above his head. He had to have gone in head first.
Which seems almost physically impossible to do by yourself into such a confined space.
And even the coroner, Al Bourne, had apparently commented early on, maybe off the record or just thinking aloud, that it might have taken 2 people to position him in such a fashion.
But his final ruling was still accidental.
Well, it got complicated. He reopened the case, acknowledged the inconsistencies. He admitted it really taxed our brains.
I can imagine.
He specifically mentioned the clothes thing. We don't know why he took his clothes off. Why he went outside, climbed on the roof, and went down the chimney. It was not linear thinking.
Definitely not linear. So what was the revised ruling?
The revised autopsy listed possibilities: accidental death, murder, or undetermined causes. But somehow, the final conclusion officially remained accidental death. It's confusing.
That feels deeply unsatisfying, given the mesh, the breakfast bar, the body position.
Exactly. And because that official explanation felt so shaky, other theories started bubbling up.
Fueled by these inconsistencies.
Yeah, and apparently some anonymous tips to the police suggesting suspects. People who had allegedly bragged about killing Josh.
Bragged. Okay, now we're getting into potential foul play territory. Who were they talking about?
One name that came up prominently, especially in online discussions like a 2015 Reddit post, was Andrew Richard Newman, known as Andy.
Andy Newman. Who was he?
Described as a kind of skinny, dorky hippie type, played guitar, and crucially, Josh had reportedly been seen with him around the time he disappeared.
Okay, just knowing him isn't proof, but was there more to it?
Well, yeah. Andy had a known violent past, including a fatal stabbing in New Mexico.
A fatal stab?
And he'd also apparently claimed to have killed a woman in Taos, New Mexico, whose body was later found stuffed in a barrel.
Okay, this Andy sounds like serious trouble. Did the police look into him back when Josh went missing?
This is where it gets frustrating, according to some accounts, like that Reddit post. Friends apparently did contact the police. They specifically said something like, Josh, who went missing, was last seen with Andy, who's a murderer.
That seems pretty direct.
You'd think so.
Nope.
But they reported getting minimal response from the police. There was even a bizarre incident where Josh's missing person bulletin was accidentally canceled.
Canceled? Why?
Police reportedly told one caller that Josh was alive and well and living in the next town over, which obviously was completely wrong.
That's alarming negligence, if true.
It certainly raises questions. The Reddit post really hammered home the case against the accident theory, pointing to rumors that Andy had bragged about, quote, putting Josh in a hole.
A hole? Like a chimney?
That was the implication people drew. The post just listed all the anomalies again. The breakfast bar, Josh's clothes already being inside the cabin. Why climb down a chimney if you were just inside?
Yeah.
Head first entry. The lack of clothes.
Yeah.
The Redditor put it pretty bluntly, basically saying you don't try to climb head first into a chimney through a rusted grate, if it even was rusted half naked. It just defies logic for an accident or seeking shelter.
It really does. And what happened to Andy Newman?
He is currently serving time in prison for a different fatal stabbing.
So he's incarcerated, but was he ever formally investigated or charged in connection with Josh's death?
Not as far as the public record shows. The official cause of death remains accidental.
Despite everything, including the cabin owner's own certainty.
Right. Chuck Murphy, the guy demolishing the cabin, he remained completely unconvinced by the official story. He said flat out, there's no way that guy crawled inside that chimney with that steel webbing. He didn't come down the chimney.
Strong words from the owner.
Yeah. He called it a real conundrum and basically predicted it would remain a mystery.
And it seems like he was right. This case just seems to pile anomaly upon anomaly.
It really does. It forces you to wrestle with these stubborn facts. The mesh, or rebar as it's sometimes called. How did he get past it? Why take off the clothes and fold them inside? Who moved that heavy breakfast bar? And why?
So many questions.
It just leaves you hanging.
This deep dive into Josh Maddux's story, yeah, it leaves us with far more questions than solid answers, I think. It's such a tragic story, and it really shows how challenging it is to find closure, when the physical evidence seems to scream one thing, but the official conclusion says another. It makes you question everything.
It really does.
That was a truly unsettling deep dive into the strange death of Josh Maddux, the boy in the chimney. His story really reminds us how some mysteries they stick with you, even when there's an official explanation on the books.
Indeed. And I think this case highlights how valuable knowledge becomes when we actually question assumptions, when you look at multiple perspectives, especially when the physical evidence just seems baffling.
Right.
It challenges us, to weigh what's known against the unknown, and to maybe consider that sometimes the most confusing details are actually the most important clues.
A chilling thought. We hope this deep dive gave you some new insights, maybe some things to chew on about this incredibly strange case. What really stands out to you about Josh Maddux's death?
Keep digging.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and join us next time for another deep dive.